Lindsey and Aaron sitting in a tree. Kissing. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby and the baby carriage.
Hey y'all, welcome to First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. My name is Lindsey Jackson.
And I'm Aaron Jackson.
And on this 7th episode, we'll be talking about expectations and disappointments.
So listen up.
Let's go. Welcome back to First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. My name is Lindsey Jackson.
And I'm Aaron Jackson.
And we have been discussing with each other the difference between the wedding and the marriage. So, baby, I want to ask you, what did you expect about marriage versus our marriage right now?
So my expectations were like a checklist. Mm-hmm. And I thought you have to have a job. She's going to be there every time you come home. You're never going to be in an apartment. You're always going to be at a house with a yard. Mm-hmm. And happiness forevermore. No sorrow. It was like no bad things will happen.
Is that because of me? Or is that because of what you actually saw in marriages?
My expectations really, truthfully, were of my parents 37, 35 years into marriage.
Right, because you're the baby of 5.
Yeah, so I was expecting that complete blissfulness at 35 years of marriage as soon as we get married. Mm-hmm. Right after the honeymoon, it's like, oh, you unlocked it, you got the key, you unlocked it, boom, you have this. And I didn't realize the process that you have to take to get to those places. These are milestones.
Right.
Buying a house is a milestone.
Huge.
First child, any child, period, is huge. Mm-hmm. And so I just thought that if you put in all the work, this is the reward. You can't choose your consequences, but you know the rewards. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do everything right to get these rewards. Mm-hmm. And when we got married, I'm completely happy. It wasn't like the,
You better sing.
Yeah, I'm hitting all those.
Okay.
It wasn't like that.
Yes, doors opening up.
Yeah, just doors open like in Pleasantville. Like as soon as this act happens, everything I see.
Right, the cherry blossoms.
Yeah, I could see colors differently and stuff like that. Uh-huh. And so that was my expectation, was this like new level of bliss. And what I've been learning is that it is obtainable, but you gradually get to it. You get closer and closer to it as you work on the marriage. Because I feel like I've been happier and more blessed to be with you every year that we've been married. Mm-hmm. And so I still feel like I can get there, but my expectation was as soon as you say I do, kiss, everybody having a party, that's what I was getting. Mm-hmm. So what about you, baby?
Well, similar to yours in that my expectation of marriage was complete and utter bliss. I mean, I thought that if you put in the work when you're dating, then marriage should be a breeze because you put in the work. And this is funny because now I'm looking back and I'm like, oh yeah, we were together for 12 years before we were married. I was gonna say engaged. Engaged for 11 years.
Yeah, engaged for 11.
Before we were dating for 11 years before we got engaged, and that's a long time.
It is. It is.
It's a long time. I don't care if people want to say, oh, you don't count high school years or what have you, but I I felt that, okay, I put in all this work. I developed, we went through our seasons. We did this and we did that. And we had arguments and we had disagreements and we had clarity moments. And so we put in all of this work prior to marriage that I really thought that marriage was just going to be us traveling and growing our family and just sunshines and rainbows. And that is not reality.
It's not.
I also expected a timeline. You see in the media, or you see other people, if you will, if you were to compare, you see people get married, get a house, have children, continue on in their career, and just grow in that set, almost, it seems like it's a planned order. And that's not our journey. And I think we had to realize that, or I had to realize that around year 4, it was like, no, we picking up, we live one place and we work in here and we're doing this and we're growing our family at the same time and experiencing life, and going back and forth from New York to LA. That's new because people tell you this idea, especially for women, it's like by 30, you need to have this, you need to have that, you need to have your house. And we're in New York, away from where we think our home base is going to be. And that's not what I expected. So I think those two expectations kind of threw me off when I just opened up my mind and said, no, this is what our marriage is. This is how we're working out.
So this is our Am I Wrong section, where I give a situation about something that happened between Lindsey and I, and we're asking you to put in your opinions and tell us if I am the person who's wrong, or if Lindsey is the person who is wrong. Last week we did, what was last week? The travel? We haven't got a lot of responses on that, so if we don't get responses, I think I'm right.
Okay. Wow. So we need people to comment.
And so the travel one,
I feel like that was a no-brainer. That's why people.
No. and we did doing a bonus episodes with a couple of our Am I Wrong. So I think we're pretty much even. If I'm doing a recap.
No, I can do the accurate recap. The recap is I have 2 for me and 1 for you, meaning I have been right twice and you have been right once.
There's a couple
and
of
there
maybes.
Was a tie.
There's a couple of maybes.
There was a tie in there because we've done 4, so 5. We didn't get the travel. We didn't get any votes for the travel yet.
All right. So this is the Am I Wrong? This is a situation. Picture this. I wear a size 11.5 shoe. Lindsey what size do you wear?
7.
You wear a size 7 women's. I'm 11.5 men. Lindsey has 3 pairs of slippers, house shoes. She has the Nikes, she has the Birkenstocks, and I think you have, what's the other ones? Like some fuzzy ones. She has 3 pairs. Okay. I have 1 pair. Is my Pumbaa sliders. Lindsey consistently uses my sliders when she has other options and leaves me without sliders. She needs to remain in her sliders. Am I wrong for being like, yo, man, you need to? And she's like, oh, I have to rush out the house to get Christmas, or I need to rush out the house to something with action. She always put action in Christmas. That's our Christmas is our dog son, and action is our human son. And so she always like, oh yeah, I gotta do this. I had to rush out the house. No, we have house shoes for a reason, and I need to keep my house shoes for myself. I give you 5 seconds for rebuttal. Go.
Oh, okay. Number 1, he like to put an always on something. It's not always, okay? When I use his sliders, it's probably because I am rushing, because I have to take action outside, or Christmas needs to go outside to use the bathroom. So yes, okay, I have my slides, but let me preface it with my slides are usually moved by action. He likes to pick up my slides and put them someplace else. Therefore, they're not easily accessible as they are yours.
So you were saying that my slides are always in the proper place, and then every time I try to go look for them, they're gone.
I put them back in place. Sharing. You know what? Let's get to that.
No.
Marriage is about sharing.
Yes. But you have 3 to my 1, so you could share your feet with some other slides. So am I wrong? You could reach us and tell Lindsey how wrong she is at 347-TRU-LOVE. That is 347-878-5683. Once again, that's 347-878-5683. Or you can hit us on Instagram at
First Comes Love TCM.
Or you can email us at letstalk@firstcomeslove.thenComesMarriage.com.
So we're back. And the second question is, baby, how do you deal with personal disappointments within our marriage?
Oof. Personal. So like I didn't get a job that I was going for, or something like that. So this happens more often than not. Even I wouldn't. Is it personal if your favorite basketball team always loses? Because my guys, Los Angeles Clippers, they have put me in a situation where I felt like I was personally disappointed.
I know. And I'm mad for you as a wife.
So I don't know if that counts. But
it counts, baby.
How do I handle that? I really lean on you. I was like, man, I need to be, what is it, coddled? I need to be coddled.
Yes.
When they lose. Except for this time when they lost this year, I was fully prepared for that. So that's one thing. But say I'm going out for a job, or I need a job and I have to go out for different interviews or something like that. And I put more pressure on myself when it comes to those things because of, the way I was raised, gender roles that I have in my head about being a provider and doing stuff like that. And so when stuff doesn't go my way, it hurts. And it hurts because I always feel like, oh, how is this going to affect my marriage? If I don't have money, I always go to like the worst of the worst. You know me. I'm like, well, if I don't have any money, then this will happen, and then this will happen, and then she'll end up cheating on me or something like that. Like,
oh my goodness.
Like, how did Lindsey have a baby by another man?
Okay.
Well, I couldn't get a job.
Are you not secure in this marriage?
But I am secure. I just, you hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I would say when it comes to disappointment, I do not have a lot of personal disappointments because my ultimate goal was always to be your husband. And as long as I can fall back on I'm married to you, then I'm actually good.
Aww.
Because I love you so much. And I love being your husband, and I know that no matter what, if I got you, then I'm good. So that's one thing that I have something to fall back on, something I can trust. Also, I'm a strong believer in Jesus Christ and God. And so I always fall back and be like, look, when I gave myself to Christ, I no longer have the right to be upset on his body, on his mind, And so I had to deal with that a couple of times. I had to check myself like, look, God, I am in a rental right now. My body is a rental. I'm ultimately supposed to be with you. And so I'm going to take care of myself as much as I can. But if you have something working in the midst, who am I to be upset? I mean, I'm a human, but end all be all, who am I to be upset? And so that's one thing that I constantly have to remind myself, and I constantly have to work on, because it is a very difficult being human, period. So that's how I deal with it. I lean on the things that I know for sure.
Yeah.
I lean on the things that I am secure in. And I'm secure that I am going to be a good husband no matter what. You know, like I can lean on that. I can lean on that God got me.
Right.
God's got me. You know what I'm saying? I'm always covered. So that's how I deal with most of my disappointments. The disappointments with my weight, I'm working on it. The hard part is that you are so loving, and I want you to continue to be loving, but it's just like, man, my life is good. You know, it's hard to be motivated and content at the same time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you have to have a different kind of drive.
Yeah, you got to have that Lindsey drive, as I say. But, so, baby, I lean on things. I lean on things that I know, like, what are my rocks? How do you deal with personal disappointments?
It's hard. It's definitely still a growing experience for me. I think that something you know about me, I hate to be disappointed. I mean, nobody likes to be disappointed. It's just how you react to those disappointments is different for everybody. And personally, I would rather not hope or not know than to be crushed. And I feel that for me still. I'm like, wow, you know, this is why if I like to plan and I expect those plans to go accordingly. Otherwise, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to plan. And therefore, I will not get disappointed if the plans go a different way. So I'm still learning the balance of
hope.
Yeah, hope. And, you know, because all you need, you know, as they say, is a mustard seed of faith. All I need is a little bit of faith. And so it goes back to how we said a couple of episodes ago with our affirmations and my meditations and things like that. So how I deal with disappointments is to breathe, to understand that God's always got my best at heart. God knows exactly what I need when I need it. Things that I tell myself all the time, and just to understand, like, it's going to be okay. And like you said, we have things to fall back on. I fall back on our love, you know, because if I don't, if I don't get that position or, you know, or this goal or, you know, whatever it is, if it doesn't happen, I might take a moment and cry. I hope that I don't lash out on you. And that's the most important part, because sometimes personal goals that do not happen within the relationship, you end up taking that out on the person closest to you.
Yes.
And I never want to do that. I want to check myself and say, you know what? I need to talk to you about it. I need to kind of vent my frustrations, but I'm not mad at you. This is me. This is something that I'm trying to do. And most of the time, you're such an encourager to be like, okay, well, what else can be done? Or what can I do? Like, you try to fix it. That's pretty much. And that's amicable, because I'm like, some things just can't be fixed. Some things we're going through. And it's an important lesson. But I always try to remember our love in the midst of it. So that's how I deal with disappointments.
One thing that you said that really made me like, whoa, being that punching bag for you. You say you never want to lash out, and I never want to lash out at you. Reality is we're going to lash out on each other because we are so close to each other, and we're the only people that we know. I know if I lash out at you, we'll be okay later, you know? And
maybe.
I mean, I'm talking about you and me. I'm not talking about other relationships. I'm talking about you and me. And so, and there's been time where I know I didn't deserve it, and you go off, and I'm just like.
But what do you say to yourself? You say, "This is not. She's not mad at me."
I am.
You kind of tell yourself something.
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those. She's not mad at me people. Like, she's not mad at me. You got to know the situation, and you have to know what your person is going through. When there's times when you're holding secrets with yourself, and I don't know, you know, then if you're lashing out on me, I don't know the situation. So say, God forbid, you're getting like sexually harassed or something at work.
Right.
And you're not telling me because you don't know how I'll react or something. But when you're coming home from work, or you're getting bullied at work, you're coming home from work and you're upset and you don't want to talk about work, and you know, you're doing all the things, and I'm getting all of it, but I don't have the root reason.
Right.
And so if you're withholding information, that really hinders I feel like the going through process that you were saying.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to share. You have to trust and have to share with your partner, which was one of my expectations in marriage. We're a partnership. And so I don't have to do anything else alone anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things about our marriage. And that's one of the things that I love is Team Jackson. I say it all the time.
You said it from the beginning.
I said it from the beginning.
And I didn't pick up on it too quickly, but it was like, we're Team Jackson.
Yes.
And you be like, F everybody else, it's Team Jackson.
Yes.
And so at the end of the day, like you said, if something going on at work, if something going on with your family, if something's going on, you know, wherever, tell me.
Yes.
It's Team Jackson.
Because I got you and you got me.
Yeah.
That's how we deal with negative thoughts and disappointment. Because as soon as you're disappointed, you straight go negative.
Yeah.
I mean, that's me too.
Yeah, you go to a sad place. You know, that's what happens. But the important thing is to understand your reaction, to understand how you're going to move forward. Because something that we learned a while back, you know, time keeps moving forward. And that's all I got. Thank you for joining us on our 6th episode talking about expectations and disappointments. Talk to your friends, talk to your spouse, and reach out to us. Tell us what you think.
And so you can reach out to us by calling the voicemail. That is 347 TRU-LOVE. That is 347 TRU-LOVE. 347-878-5683.
Or you can DM us on our Instagram at firstcomeslove.tcm, or you can email us at letstalk@firstcomeslove.thenComesMarriage.com. See you next Friday.
Good.
Let's do the hey y'all.
Let's do it.
Hey y'all, welcome to First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage podcast. My name is Lindsey.
What's your name, girl? What's your name? You've been doing this. You have done this
because I thought we put in the 6th. This is the 6th episode. I don't know if I said that on the welcome back. It's fine. It's fine. Because now I need to know. We say our name twice, but I only say 6th episode over here.
Look,
okay. Come on.
Let's
I'm
do
ready.
it.
I'm ready. Hey y'all, welcome back to
See? I feel like you messed up. We could do a whole podcast and you'd like, you know what? It's time to mess up.
No, baby.
No, baby.
No, baby.
Let's do it.
Okay. Hey y'all.
Okay. That was loud.
It was. I know, I'm sorry. Hey. See, you're breathing all up in.
Ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Stop breathing.
Stop breathing. Hurt. Got it. Go.
Okay. Hey y'all, welcome back. I gotta say welcome back.
No,
I don't say welcome back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was
I know.
like Edward Scissorhands.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yikes. I know Pleasantville very well. I watch that all the time. I used to.
Okay. Ask me the question again. I'll be quick. Like, I love your hugs. I love your kisses. I love your support of me.